Showtime.
It's about that time.
Let's go.
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah.
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor.
What's going on, everybody? All right. What is the deal, everybody? Thanks for coming in. Thanks for tuning in. People, this will be a short show. I don't know. I know I've always said I would have short shows before, and it turns out to be 45 minutes. But I think this time around, it's really going to be like 20 minutes long. I do appreciate you guys tuning in this week. It's just I just have so many things that I'm doing, and I'm just trying to juggle at this point. And I think if I just squeak out a show and just give you guys what you need for episode 199, then I did my job. But anyway, with the topics that I'm actually going to give, it's one of those annoyances that I've seen on Twitter that really got me going. And I thought, there are two pet peeves that's going on right now that I'm really noticing, and it's upsetting me. So let's just get right into it, and I'll see if I can knock this out in 25 minutes. Yes, I'm your host, Nova Phoenix, on GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio. And our first topic that I'm going to talk about, one of my pet peeves that's going on, I want to say pet peeves, but just annoyances, is a lot of things that's going on Twitter. And I know you've seen it. I know that you heard me talk about it before, but especially with the recent attention has been given to Sneeko, one of those red pill guys, and he was just out and about, and you see some nine-year-olds, really start struck seeing Sneeko, and they were talking about, women are messed up, and Sneeko actually gave that surprise look like, I think I'm going too far here. And it just makes me think about social media influencers, and I think the idea of the social media influencer has kind of been poisoned in a way. I just don't think people can rightfully use that term anymore. Social media influencer was something that I think that went along with like Kim Kardashian and all these other celebrities, and how we spoke about them before, saying, they really don't have any real talent, but they're pretty. They have their own reality TV show, and now they're on social media and they're making this money because they have so many followers, and now they're trying to sell you some, weight loss tea or whatever the case may be. And we call them social media influencers. Now, it's not the same anymore, social media influencers. And I see it now, social media influencers has kind of bastardized themselves, poisoned themselves, kind of just turned inside out in the worst way possible. They have turned into chaos agents. I still think you have social media influencers, those people that are out there that are influencing in ways that gets attention and has people get 50,000 likes in 20 minutes, no doubt. So is the same for chaos agents. But chaos agents, as I call them, are people that get those same amount of likes from the poison that they spew, from the nonsense that they talk about, just so they could get those 50,000 likes. And there are so many people right now that are chaos agents right now. Sneeko is a chaos agent, the red pill dude, talking real reckless, and people purposely say the most wildest things in order to get the attention. Not that they care. There's no morals involved. There's no ethics involved. The wilder and crazier and nuttier that it is, and disrespectful and disgusting, in all those ways, in all those characteristics that I just told you right now, in the most negative ways, the better, because it gets people to say, "Oh my God, did you hear what they say?" And what one person said, I think Andrew Tate, he's a chaos agent. Andrew Tate says it said it coined. I don't think he coins that phrase personally, but he did say, I saw a clip of him online, and he calls it the attention economy. People are trying to get your attention. there's money, there's monetization in gaining attention, as we all know. So and it's slowly crept in, because there are a lot of people that have kind of did wild things, and they've entered the establishment, and when I say establishment, they're able to do movies and commercials and all types of ways that you would never think that they would enter the establishment. All of a sudden you see this person that used to be this wild and crazy dude on social media, and then all of a sudden they're doing a freaking DirecTV commercial, or they're doing a KFC commercial. I'm like, oh snap, now all of a sudden they're in a Super Bowl 30-second joint. I'm like, what? They have actually been able to monetize and to benefit from the chaos that they have spewed. And that's what's happening right now. And they're not stopping. Pearl, everybody knows Pearl. She's one of those red pillars that was talking about traditional women and modern women. She has gone full-blown chaos agent. She'll say anything, and I knew it went off the rails when she got that white supremacist dude on there. I forgot the dude's name. He's kind of like I forgot the guy's name that she allowed to be up on the show, and him saying all types of crazy stuff, and she entertained that fact. And my thing is like, nah, I'm not going to normalize. I'm not going to what's that word I'm looking for? I'm not going to entertain. Turn this into something where people can, laugh and joke, because there's nothing funny about white supremacy unless you're laughing at it. So for Pearl to give him that space to talk that bullshit that he's talking, right there I was like, you know what? Not for me. And that's when I stopped. And mostly I just when I bumped into Pearl, it was just like she was saying some interesting things at the very beginning as far as the differences between man and woman, and as I said before, the traditional versus the modern woman, and it was some points that can spark a debate amongst couples and men and women and all that stuff, and some things that were reasonable, and some things I was like, yeah, that has a point, and then it just went off the rails. And then she went on the dude that UK, because she does her show out in the UK. I said that before. I forgot the guy's name that does the UK show, UK newscaster. I forgot the guy. He used to do newscasting in the States, and then he got kicked off. British newscaster. I can't remember this guy's name. There you go. What's this guy? I see his picture. Piers Morgan. So she got on Piers Morgan, and she was just smirking all the way through the interview. She at that point, Pearl has made it. She got on Piers Morgan, and her red pilling and all the craziness that she talks and all the things that she's done. She was able to use it in such a way where she got on the Piers. So she's entered the establishment. She has entered the establishment, and now she's doing her thing. She used to, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really watch her as I did before. I don't know if she still invites people up on the show and they talk about, relationships and all those things. So I'm not sure about that, but she does a lot of her solo thing, all that stuff she was talking about. Now she's more about, centering on Pearl. So anyways, she's one of them. And now we just have straight chaos agent. Now, who I think else is a chaos agent, be real. When it comes to independent black media, Tariq Nasheed, to me, he's a chaos agent. He did a lot of things, and I'm not shy about talking about how Tariq Nasheed gets down. They all start out real well, and then they figure out, or then they think to themselves, they get to a certain point, a milestone in their personal careers, where they say, I have to do something else that's going to garner attention. I have to do something that's going to rock the boat and get people and drive my views. Because of course, when you drive up those views and those clicks, especially in YouTube, you get paid. And that's what it's all about. When your whole platform is about simply getting the dollar by driving those likes and so those subscriptions and in every way where people can interact with your platform, it can be dollarized and you get that fat check. That's what it comes down to. So it's not about impartiality. It's not about having an honest conversation and having a debate. It's not about really just breaking things down and building, as I said, and exchanging words on particular subject matter. It just turns into, how can I get people to get their mouths gaped? How can I get these people to click in? And then when you have Sneeko going about his business, and he has 9-year-olds that's really getting behind him, people don't truly see the impact of how far their words go, no matter how poisonous it is. People don't really understand the reach and the significance of the words to highly impressionable people. And you saw that on Sneako's face. And I don't think that and some people don't care. Like I said, we're Pearl and all them, and you're Andrew Tate and all those folks out there that's really like, wait a second, how much money they getting? It's crazy, man. And you can't say nothing to them because, again, this is a free society that I've said before on the show. We live in America. It's freedom of speech. Once you stop somebody from talking, that directly goes against everything this country is built on the Constitution and blah, 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 the amended this, amendment that, and all that bullshit, whatever the case may be. So you can't really stop someone from saying some really crazy shit because you're violating their rights. But just because you could say crazy shit doesn't mean you could just say shit wildly and not have any repercussions. You can't really just say wild things and not expect you to get certain blowback. It's like those videos you see where people start poking the bear, or they're putting their hands in the lion's cage. I'm like, and everybody, of course, watching is like, oh, I know what's going to happen. Let me see how this going to go down. And you see the lion grab the dude's pants or his arm, and people see, there you go. That's what you get. So you can't do that and not expect to get any reaction. And that's what's going down right now, whether you're getting a negative reaction from people, probably swinging on them or running up on them, or the damage that you can do with impressionable minds. And to me, there's nothing that you can do about it. And you could, but I don't think that there's enough discipline in the viewers of America where they'll say, I just don't feel like watching this anymore. Because it's just pure entertainment, man. It's immediate satisfaction, and unfortunately there are people that truly believe in the words that these chaos agents say, and they take it as gospel. They don't do any research. They don't do any let me see, go to the library, let me read this book. None of them. And I've spoken to them, and in terms of when I see it with Tariq Nasheed, and I've actually engaged some of these people, and it's almost like excuse me, Tariq shoved these words down their mouth, and the only thing that comes out is in the way and in the word choices that they use. It sounds just like Tariq. And I got to tell people, like, yo, you got to stop listening to Tariq because you sound just like him. The words you are choosing is exactly as he's saying. And those are people of weak minds, man. Those are weak-minded people. And a lot of times people, the reality is people look for someone to follow. They look for someone who's going to fill that void in them that they've had for so long. And if these words comfort them in their time of despair and depression, they will latch on to these people and say, see, this is what I needed. And it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't matter if it's logical. It doesn't matter if it's from academia or it's an honest talk that you can probably hear from Michael Eric Dyson. I'm sorry if I'm messing up his name. Someone with a science background, an academic background, just as long as they can feel emotionally better, psychologically better. And once you fill that void, once that chaos agent touches that button, they have a cult follower. And that's what this is. These are cults. And that's what Andrew Tate does a lot with people. They say he's a social influencer that centers or focuses on masculinity and male importance, or something or other. And you get a lot of weak-minded people that sadly, something is going on in their lives where they don't feel whole. And Andrew Tate talks those words very brashly, very confidently, in your face. This is what you need to do. This is what women need to do. This is where men need to be. You need to, and they fill that void with these people, man. And I just get tired of it because I see that nonsense. And Elon Musk with X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, has bought or co-opted a platform that people were using very gleefully and love of course, you always had idiots on Twitter, but ever since that, and he uses the guise of free speech, so, oh no, you can't kick these people out. It's become a cesspool. Now you have all types of people talking craziness, racist shit, bigoted, what do you call it? What's the word? What do women say about men? I forgot the goddamn word. Where they say the most wildest things, and these people say, and they're not gonna get any blowback. And I've actually reported a couple of people, and it worked. I didn't even think it was gonna work. I was like, fuck this. These people were saying some racist shit, and I was like, nah, I'm reporting them. Yeah, man, and I'm like, man, where are we going with this, man? Where are we going with this, and how things have changed in the last 5 years, man? Where it's become so toxic. It's become so toxic. And a lot of people are opening their eyes to it, and they're seeing it for what it is. But there's still so many hundreds of thousands of people that just, follow these chaos agents, and it does no good for the greater society, man. And what's that say about America? And I'm not placing the sole blame on these people that are trying to make a buck, because in a certain degree, they are victims of a system too, where they're trying to figure out how they can make their money and feed their families, and they've decided to take this road. It's almost like an OnlyFans girl. When people got their backs to the wall and they don't know how they're gonna feed their family for the next week, 2 weeks, and a woman looks half decent with a dope body, and she's gonna open up an OnlyFans account. Fuck all what is going to turn out 10 years from now. She said, I'm just going to get the bag now, get this paper. And it turns out, I heard a story where a kid actually unalived himself, as they say, that's a new word, because his schoolmates found the pictures of his mother on OnlyFans, and they started cracking on him. And the pressure was too much, and he unalived himself, man. And people don't think about these things. It's a crazy time, man. It's a crazy time. The other thing I want to move on to, and this little piece of information that I want to share is, the whole thing with Target, man. That there was a recent situation where, I don't know, who knows? A lot of times, I can't even say a lot of times. Listen, certain situations are real and certain situations are fake. And again, unfortunately, you have chaos agents, here it how it ties in, excuse me, or politicians, and that could be used interchangeably, where these chaos agents will latch on to these stories of the moment, politicize them for their own agenda. So you had some people run up in Target and they were stealing clothes, and everybody was trying to get at it. And all of a sudden, this huge thing where now Target, the side story, I think the story came out with as far as Target is closing down stores. And then, of course, what I'm talking about is I think it happened in Philly. They was running up in the store and they was doing flash mob and stealing shit, and the cops was just trying to take them down. Looking real crazy. And then Target is saying they have no choice but to shut down, to close stores in several locations. One in Harlem, the Target, and I used to go to that Target in Harlem. It was East Harlem. Sorry, my bad. I'm flopping over my words right now. Spanish Harlem. I used to go to that joint. It was a big Target too, man. It was in a mall that was set up over there. It was a big Target. I went up in there and get some things. And now they're closing that one down. They saying they're closing down 2 in Seattle, Washington, 3 in San Francisco and Oakland, California, and 3 in Portland, Oregon. And they're saying all of that is due to the theft and organized crime that is ravaging these Target stores. Now, I don't know if these particular stores are having theft issues and they had to close down these stores, or they was just I guess, in the executive room in the offices of Target, they would say, okay, we're going to select these stores in order to save money, or they take it as a loss, which I'm reading this article and I'm like, I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Think about it. You think a huge chain like Target is going to shut down 7 or 8 stores because of theft. Now, supposedly they're saying the theft cut into their profits by $500 million this year. They're saying in 2022, $700 million was hit in inventory shrinkage. I just don't, I don't believe it. I'm not, and my daughter want me to use the word, but I'm saying cap. That's all cap, son. Oh, that's why I just don't believe it, man. I don't believe that you can have mega store as you can have a chain store all across the United States. Target decide to close down a store because of theft. Huh? What? No, bruh. No, I'm not going for it. Cause I'm in my older years, I know what it was where New York was really getting hit. In the 80s, the 70s, that was a time where you could say, wow, yeah, I can understand. If there is a obvious economic deterioration in a particular region where they're just not generating that type of revenue, I can understand where the top Target execs would say, we have to cut our losses. We just need to close down the store because we're not really meeting the monies we need in order to keep the lights on in that particular store. But Target is a $109 billion a year business. So you mean a couple of flash mobs or a couple kids who will run up in there, or the losses that they take is really going to be a problem for a business that's making $109 billion a year? I don't believe it. And then they're saying, this is the wild part, in the Yahoo article that I read, Peep Game, the CEO of Brian Cornell said in the company's second quarter earnings, he said shrink in the second quarter remained consistent with our expectations, but well above the sustainable level where we expect to operate over time. This is what he said word for word. So why are you closing these stores then? If it's meeting expectations and everything is remaining consistent, why the need to close stores? Seems like it's business as usual. But they're saying we're going to close these stores because of theft. $700 million they lost in 2022. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I do not believe it. Now, this is wild, right? So I looked online and I was just like random. Let me check something. And I shared something on Twitter, and there was a tweet that I made where in the food industry, they lose in food waste. And food waste meaning in the food industry, it means that food that just doesn't sell and it ends up spoiling, or they can't sell it because it's close to the expiration date. So it'll be, of course, they would be in bad taste, and it will be illegal to sell bad food. So they either, well before it starts to spoil, they throw it away or they give it away. So doing a little research online, and it's funny, I couldn't find data where I can get specific numbers on food waste with, say, like a Stop and Shop or Target, because Target sells food, or a Walmart, or any one of these mega chains that operate across the United States. But what I did find is that they're saying in the supermarket food chain industry, the U.S. Department of Agriculture says the U.S. loses up to 30 to 40% of food. 30 to 40% of food in these United States. There was a 2014 University of Arizona study that said the U.S. loses 14 to 15% of edible food. That means untouched and unopened, amounting to $43 billion a year. $43 billion. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration reports that grocery stores produce around 16 billion pounds of waste annually, food waste annually. To further go down there and find another line, they're saying supermarkets, restaurants, and convenience stores toss out approximately 27 million tons of food, and it comes around there. This particular report, I forgot where I pulled it from, $30 billion in the industry. You don't see any of these supermarkets saying we're going to close down because of food waste. You know what? We're just losing tons of food. It's not working out. We just need to, we're not meeting our numbers. We just need to close down some stores. Huh? They lose tons of food. It don't even get, they lose food at the farms, because I was reading up on it. They lose food in transportation. They lose food when I think I forgot the name of the UPC code, or the code, the stickers that are on the food get mislabeled and things end up getting spoiled. And there was a video that I attached to the tweet that I made on Twitter. And there's an actual video footage that I got off of TikTok where there were nothing but grocery carts, shopping carts lined up of spoiled food. And the dude, I guess that worked there, was like, hey man, we're starting to smell waste, food waste. You don't hear any of these people, CEOs, talking about, we're going to shut down stores. And it seems that they're losing gazillions more than what Target is talking about. Billions of dollars. And yet they're saying, well, because of the stealing, there's going to be like $700 million in 2022. We're losing up to 500. And remember what I said, the CEO, Brian Cornell of Target, saying everything remained consistent within our expectations, well above the sustainable levels. But you're closing stores? So what is it? Now I went to the Target. I went to corporate.target.com. So I went to see. Let me see if they actually show any numbers in terms of food waste. Just random, right? Let's see how much they're losing, because of course Target sells food too. So I found a site on sustainability and governance on this particular page. And under food waste, they say to further contribute to our zero waste goal, they don't say any numbers, but this is interesting to hear. Target plans to reduce operational food waste by 50% by 2025 from a 2017 baseline year. Our efforts to achieve this goal take many forms, including improved food forecasting, recycling and composting, establishing a food waste footprint, and food donation programs. Organic recycling or composting programs are currently available at 1,513 of our facilities across stores, headquarters, and supply chain facilities. In 2022, we donated 124.5 million pounds of food, which is equivalent to 87.7 million meals. Bravo to Target. Really, under sustainability and governance, really taking the bull by its horns and making sure that this food is not a total waste, and they donate to in food donation programs and help feed people that are starving. But 124.5 million pounds of food is lost within Target nationwide. Can you imagine what the cost is for losing that much food? 124.5 million pounds. That's an expected loss. That's a loss. You think these shareholders are around the table and they're saying, "Oh my God, we're going to have to get out of the food business"? No, they're not saying that. It's an expected loss. That means I'm pretty sure they're insured. Target is insured up to a certain amount of an expected loss when it comes to serving and selling food to their consumers, to their customers. And this is recent. Them saying, we're going to reduce this waste by 50%. I never heard of Target saying that they're going to close the stores, or certain stores going to close, losing that much food. That's a sizable chunk of profits. But no. Here we go. We have to close the stores because of theft. Now you're gonna ask me, Noah, if it's not that, then what it is? I don't know what it is. It could be Target executives trying to save face, knowing that more people are moving online and buying online, and less people are going into the stores. Their performance is not up, and of course, what if someone in a leadership position does well, they get patted on the back. But if someone in a leadership position does not do well, they could lose their jobs. Who knows what it is? They're trying to save face and blame it on black kids or blame it on theft, and they say we just can't. But it fits into the narrative of what Republicans been kicking on media outlets. Oh, theft is crazy in all these Democratic run cities. You gotta listen to the trigger words. San Francisco is hell. Chicago is hell. New York is going to the pits. I saw so many articles today. Let's say 2 or 3 articles today talking about New York is falling below the way. It's going crazy. It's going into the pits. All types of verbiage is really painting New York, and I'm looking around like, huh? So that's the narrative, the message is being shaped. So even, I'm not saying it's a whole conspiracy and everybody's talking to it. It's all possible. 1% is not a lot of people. 1% is not a lot of people, man. People know. All the executives know each other. Then this guy knows the chairman knows the shareholders know these shareholders, and they all go to the same conventions or the same vacations, and they talk with each other. You don't know if they devise plans. I don't know. Who knows? But let's just say it's not that. It could be something where they're just trying to save face and be like, okay, somebody's trying to just save their ass and say, well, blame it on theft. Understand what I'm saying? But people have to read between the lines and really understand what they're seeing before them. But if all they're going to do is consume the visuals of flash mobs running into stores, people stealing, listening to the narrative that these major cities are falling apart and deteriorating, and there's no cops, and people are unsafe, people are feared, it's all shaping the narrative to one specific to meet one specific objective. I'm just telling people to think. And when I read that article on Target, I was like, nah, that sounds funny. And when you do the research on food waste, we're not talking about clothes, we're not talking about stolen merchandise, food waste, expected losses. No one is talking about closing down the stores with with the amount of what they said, 124 million pounds of food getting lost that don't get sold, that is on the verge of spoiling. Nobody's closing down stores now. Then, they've been losing. If that was in 2022, imagine what it was in 20 before they wanted to do this food donation program. I'm just saying, think, folks. All right, I spoke enough. Again, here goes a half hour. I'm gonna get out of here, people. Thank you for listening to me. My 200th show is next week. I can't believe it, or the week after. I may take a pause for 1 week. I have to see. I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row with certain things, but I'm pretty sure I can have it. But forgive me if I don't have a show next week. But the true 100th will come very soon. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys for listening to me. Please subscribe on my YouTube. Please follow me on the social media platforms, on Twitter and TikTok and IG, which I'm on. And I'm gonna get out of here and take care of my business. Thanks, y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.